All right, so now that we have our photos blended together, so lovely. Look at this. So that one, this, and this. What we want to do is we need to retouch. So this is tricky because you're going to be on multiple layers. But first, let's start with the background clean because all of this is going to be in the picture. So there's a lot of scratches. I'm going to Command plus, hold down my space bar to pan up, and that looks messy. So we got to clean that up. So our go-to tool for retouching is going to be the Spot Healing Brush Tool, or J on the keyboard. And in Photoshop, you basically just start going over your blemishes. I usually like to do a before and after. So what I would do is, let me go back, right click, duplicate layer, hit that, and I'm going to turn the bottom one off for the time being. And I'm going to rename it. Instead of copy, I'm going to actually name it Retouch. So I know that's the clean one. We can keep that on. All right. So we're in our tool. It should be on content aware, normal. Pick a good size. That's something a little bit larger than your blemishes. And we're just going to go in here and get any sort of scratch that we can, including in the reflection. This is going to be a trickier part usually. Command Z. Command Z is your friend right now because the more you Command Z, the faster your retouching is going to be. Command Z. There we go. This is actually a good one for using a tablet as well. Mrs. Olden has some if you would like to check one out. Just ask. All right. And honestly, it just takes time. I'm going to pause this and come back to you when I'm further along. How did I do that? Let's see. All right, so then what we'll do is, so I cleaned it up, so I always need to check a before and after to make sure that you did a good job. So that's the bottom. So next thing I need to do is actually make my way to the top, which is going to be on the top of the glass. So I'm going to pan up, so hold the space bar and move. And there's actually a lot of splashes here that are distracting, so I'm going to go ahead and retouch some of those as well. But you have to change your layer. So now I'm going to be on big splash layer. So I need to get in here and I'm just going to clean some of these up. And you may want to make a slightly smaller brush by right-clicking. Just clean some of these up that might be distracting. So some might be good, but then others might be distracting. This, if you did a tank photo, this is one that's going to take a while. Probably the tanks get pretty dirty. That's overlapping with the other photo, so I'm going to have to do it on a separate layer. All right, so now we have our retouch picture. So I cleaned up a lot of this glass. I cleaned up the ice cubes actually. You just got to make sure the hardest part is being on the right layer. So just click through all your layers, clean up some of those spots. And now I'm going to hit Command Z to go full screen, and I can see where I am at right now. And then that was the before and after. All right. And about the last thing we need to do is crop. So I'm going to go to the crop tool, which is C on the keyboard. And then I like to keep it original ratio. And we just need to crop in and get rid of the ragged edges of the photo, essentially, because we did align them and stuff. So set up your crop, make sure everything looks good. You just move in the edges, original ratio, or one of the presets usually in here. And then again, that straighten tool is in here as well. You go ahead and hit the check mark, or I hit enter on the keyboard. It will apply your transformation, and then you're going to save. File, save. And it should save a copy to Lightroom. Before you close out, you want to triple check that it's saved to Lightroom. Go to Lightroom, and what you'll see here is your final composite. The last tricky thing, so let me close out and go back to Lightroom. The tricky thing is that you want to just double check that you're opening it correctly. So you want to right click, edit in, and then you're going to edit in Photoshop. It may launch, or it's going to give you some options. Anytime you are trying to edit a Photoshopped file that you opened through Lightroom, you need to do Edit Original. Any Lightroom adjustments you add to it, if you go to open it, it's going to flatten the image and you're not going to have your layers. So if you want to use your layers and continue to edit it, you must edit original. This is super duper important. So we're going to do edit. It's going to launch. And then here we go. We have all of our layers still intact. All right. Hope you enjoyed, and I'm excited to see your photo composites.